All right, y'all, man. Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Armor, man, with your host, Seth, man. Today, I got a special one, y'all, man. Detroit, stand up, man. I got a real one in here, man. I got Mr. Donovan, man. And I just really want to talk about so many things that happened for this young man, how he is showering the community with AI help, right? Consulting small businesses, mentoring young people. And I'm gonna tell you one of the most important things about Donovan that I think that everybody knows about him is that most of the time when I see him sharing something on LinkedIn, it's always about somebody else. So it's never about him, unless he's giving a speaking somewhere or something like that. But it's always like shouting out somebody who accomplished a milestone. So, man, Donovan, I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and then we'll go ahead and start, man. So, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me here. I'm very honored to be here.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So listen, Donovan, we gonna go ahead and get to it, man. So Beyond the Armor, we talk about taking off the shield of men,
hmm
and how sometimes we have tags like father, brother, mentor, all of these things, but we like to get underneath that and find out who we are individually. And so something that I'm very fond of you about is your character as a person, right? Like who you are. And I know that just didn't come from nowhere. So if you don't mind sharing, man, share a little bit about, where you grew up and how you grew up and what ingrained those values that you have.
Yeah. So born and raised here in Detroit, Michigan. Been here all my life. Never went anywhere. So I grew up more on the east side of Detroit. Pretty big family starting off, right? I got into gaming, like the Super Nintendo 64
Yeah.
type of gaming when I was
Yeah.
younger, thanks to my cousin. And so I guess that's kind of sparked my interest in technology in a sense. And so after high school, I went to an adult school here called Kaplan Career Institute and became a computer support technician. And so got my A+ certification. And then I moved on to work for companies such as Henry Ford, Optimize, Your Center, and then Detroit Medical Center as a help desk analyst. And then from there, I tried to get some more certifications under my belt, but I kept failing at this one Windows 7 certification that was out at the time. And I was only a few points off, right? I would like get so close. I felt it about 4 times. And I remember being frustrated. And at that time, I was sort of getting fatigued from doing help desk.
Yeah.
And I saw this inspiring video called What Most Schools Don't Teach on YouTube, and it talked about the importance of becoming a developer, a coder, a web developer.
Yeah.
And when I was growing up, especially in high school, I thought to be a coder, you had to be a genius. You have to know math. You have to know every language under the sun. And they debunked that and pretty much say, anybody can learn how to code. Is like, speaking another language essentially, but you're talking to the computer to have the computer do some type of outcome. And that really that pretty much challenged my notion, my idea of like, what is a software developer? What is a computer programmer c- against my assumptions, right? And so I decided to look more into this, mainly out of curiosity. And two, I was getting fatigued from help desk.
Thing. And so help desk. Take me back to, when you really found out like help desk wasn't for you. Like what was the cat that, broke the horse's back? I guess that's the saying.
For me, it was mainly failing that certification because I would study day and night for the certification and be a couple of points off. And to fail it 4 times was really something that just was defeating. It really defeated me. And I'm a person that works hard and I try to achieve what I can do. And when I did now, truth be told, when I took my A plus certification, my CompTIA A plus certification, I did fail it twice. And then the third time I got it. And then the part two test, I think I got that on the first try. But you were able, when you take these tests, you're able to get feedback on what you're weak in. And so I would do the same thing with the Windows 7 certification, and still I would fail. And I'm like, what is going on? And so that's what really broke the camera back for me.
Okay. Yeah, man. I mean, I think that's an interesting part because what I like to say is a lot of people they think that, just because they work a job, they think that's their purpose, right?
Mhm.
I'm like a believer in like whatever my purpose is can be fit into any box. Like I
Mhm.
can take my purpose of working with people into any arena. It could be tech, it can be counseling, it could be whatever, right? And so I'm glad to hear about that transition because I did not know that until now.
Yep.
And okay, man. So basically, now community activist, community work, Donovan. What got you tied up in the community, and why does it give you that smile that you have right now?
Yeah, yeah. So it's an interesting story. Not the normal story that you would expect, especially coming from me. But it starts off where I got into doing web development and doing freelance, right? But I knew I needed some type of guidance and knew I needed some type of community, like-minded individuals to be around. And so at the time, at least here in Detroit, there wasn't a lot of communities here. There was a community called Girl Developer Detroit that was very vibrant. So it was geared towards women who wanted to be web developers, software developers, coders. So there was a Detroit chapter here. And there was another few other coding events or coding meetup groups, but they're mostly in Ann Arbor, and I was in Detroit, so I didn't have the funds to drive out there all the time, right? So
Right.
that's an hour drive for me, at least. So I was looking at this meetup group and I was studying this meetup group for at least for like a week. And I'm like, oh man, and I see the pictures, I see them having fun, and I see mostly women. I'm like, I want to join this group, but I don't want to come off as like some type of creep or anything like me hitting on women. That's not my intention. My intention is to be around like my individuals. But
Sure.
I basically convinced myself, I was like, you know what? Let's hit the join button. Let's see what they say. If anything, they may just route me to another alternative meetup group, right? So I hit the join button, right? The next day, I got a welcome email saying, welcome to the community. And I was just floored. I'm like, what? So men
Yeah.
can join this group? And so at the time, a good colleague friend of mine, Leanne Dreets, who I ended up working with in the future at a company, but she welcomed me with open arms. She said, "Hey, welcome to Girl Development Detroit. Man can join, but this is geared towards women." Which I totally understand. I totally respect that, right? And so I joined. I showed up. I went to most of the meetup groups. They had so what Girl Development does. They do a combination of workshops and then also they do like lunch. I don't want to say lunch and learns, but more like they go to a coffee shop or a cafe and do like these build sessions. Like if you work on a website, you need some help. There'll be a couple of Girl Develop It chapter members there
Oh,
to
that's
sort of help
awesome.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And so what ended up happening, how I got into that community, like I decided to wanted to become an instructor there or a teacher, and so I had to like go to like 3 teaching sessions and become a teacher assistant before I can do an instructing a role there. And so I did that, and then I got a chance to do my first workshop there, and that was doing what was it? Bootstrap. Yeah, it was Bootstrap. So I did a Bootstrap workshop. I was the first one to do Bootstrap. And I was so nervous, but it turned out to be really receptive and well. And so I remember tweeting about it on Twitter because I was trying to build up my brand and my image, or becoming a developer, becoming a web developer. And I was trying to get like these other organizations contacting me, asking me, "Hey, Donovan, you want to do it for our meetup group? Hey, Donovan, you want to do it for us?" And I said, "Yeah, I said, yeah, yeah. If it didn't hinder on my full-time job at the time." And so that's
For
kind of
sure.
how it started. Like it started off as like me wanting to build my brand through like this organization and maybe through teaching. And I ended up liking it so much. And I started to teach even more and giving back. And I found it to be very validating and very rewarding to see people eyes light up, get the spark idea of like, I can do it. Wow, this is really cool. Thanks. And so that's what started me just being around community members and like-minded individuals. It's very validating, very rewarding.
So I want y'all to pay attention to what Donovan said. He didn't sit back and take millions of courses. He didn't sit back and wonder why not him. He actually went out, joined a group that he probably shouldn't have joined, but they allowed him in to get his start. And I think this is the most important, Donovan, and you know it, right? You have
Mhm.
definitely transitioned to some AI things, and we'll talk about that soon. But I think for a lot of the young people and older people that's transitioning to tech, we got to stop being in fear. And what you got to do, you got to start building up your brand, because now, like back in the days, we know that coders had this sort of where people thought they were, right? Mostly in the corner by themselves coding. Yeah, they used to work back in the days, true enough. But now, since the introduction of AI, especially, and how fast things are moving in tech, companies want people who can speak up for themselves, who are confident, who can talk about system design, who can ask questions when they don't know what's going on, those type of things. And so I just wanted to point that point out right there, that you actually went out and you started building your brand. So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Donovan, I see that you have been a part of like the Detroit AI Collective. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so the AI Collective is a organization. Actually, we're nationwide. We started, or it started in California, and then a colleague of mine, Sean Zhang, decided to open up a chapter here in Detroit, and it started around August. And they were starting doing meetup events, and I started to come pretty regularly. They would have them like once a month, once every month, and I would go there to attend these meetup events. And so I remember they did a couple of hackathons, and I actually placed in them. Actually, last two, yeah, they did a Make.com one, and then they did a ChatGPT one. I placed in both of them. Third, fourth place for both of them. Well, one of well, the was it the Make one fourth place, and then the ChatGPT one that was third place. But it was with a team for the ChatGPT one. And so I just became a regular. And then I was approached by another colleague, Rajesh, who was a chapter member of the AI Collective. And this was in January. And so he approached me saying, "Hey, Donovan, we're opening up the board member. I see you come to these events a lot. Would you like to be a board member?" And I was ecstatic. I was like, "Oh wow, I'm honored." I at first I was like,
Yeah,
"Oh, okay, well,
yeah.
yeah, that'd be great." I mean, I've been learning AI and studying AI since 2024 on my own. So yeah, I would love to grow. And this again will help me brand recognition, building my brand. I know AI is like really popular and sometimes and a bit controversial, let's be honest, but I think it has potential. And so I do recognize AI for what it has to offer. And so I just take full advantage of this. And I know I could be like a really good resource for the chapter.
For you, Donovan,
Mhm,
since we're on this topic, AI is a controversial topic.
mhm,
And I think a lot of like senior engineers and people who've been programming a long time is they're kind of losing the love for the grind, right? The
mhm.
studying and the debugging and all these things. What would you have to say as far as implementing AI into your workflow as a developer, and some do's and don'ts that you may have on your list? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say this: AI isn't perfect. It's not perfect. It's going. You need a human in the loop because AI does make mistakes. Yes, these models are getting better, but at the same time, context is key when it comes to these things. And at the end of the day, AI is just a tool. It's not a replacement. It can't replace humans. They tried that in the past, and it turned out to be failed spectacularly. I'm gonna one example. I don't know if you saw there was this viral TikTok video or viral video online about this guy went through the Taco Bell drive-thru, and so the Taco Bell implemented this AI voice chat, right? And so the guy was ordering his food, and there was another guy in the back recording the whole video of him ordering. And then the AI chatbot was kept repeating itself. What would you like to drink? What would you like to drink? What would you like to drink? And the guy said Mountain Dew, Mountain Dew, and he screamed Mountain Dew. And then the AI paused for a minute. I understand. What would you like to drink? And he just zooms out and just cusses, and the guy in the back
Yeah.
is laughing. So that's an example of AI hallucinating. Obviously, they rolled that back and brought in. I'm sure there's some AI in there, but they brought back for the most part, human people to take orders now. So
Yeah.
this is one of those things where companies are starting to realize that you cannot replace people fully with AI. What I would say with developers, have it to do more of the repetitive tasks. Like you can have it speed up your development process, right, to get things done quicker. But the other, and that'll get you about 70 to 80%, maybe 90% if you're lucky. And then the other 10% you'll have to like monitor and look at and work on yourself. So it's not like a complete placement. Yeah, I get the understanding of wanting to debug things and wanting to figure out yourself. And you can still do that, with personal projects or anything like that. But it's one of those things where yeah, it's a different ball game, right?
Yeah, it is. It is, man. I really love your take on AI, and like I said last episode when I was interviewing Andrew, AI is a great tool, but we have to also understand that the foundations of understanding code, learning how to read code, learning whatever frameworks you need, and the architecture, right? Like system design. I think a lot of new developers need to focus more on their soft skills,
Hmm.
system design, and
Yes,
basic
100%.
syntax, and a few frameworks, right? Because
Yep.
frameworks you can pick once you pick up one framework, you can learn multiple frameworks,
Yes,
and just like if you learn JavaScript, you can learn C++ or Java, right?
100%.
Man, it's something that you told me, man. I'm gonna let y'all know. Donovan mentored me for one session, and it helped me along the. It was back in March of 2025. My mom just passed away the month before. I was having a time, man. I was in finishing my master's in clinical mental health counseling, plus teaching myself how to code with a free boot camp in Code to Dream. If y'all want to check them out, go to codetodream.org. I'm gonna mention them. But man, I met with Donovan through word of mouth through one of the other mentors there. And man, Donovan said, if it's hard for you to learn JavaScript, go back to Python. Because he went back to PHP for
Yep.
him to be able to start learning the concepts of his next language. And that's what I did. I went back to Python for a while and I started messing around with Python again. And then I came back to JavaScript and it seemed like things were clicking. So I don't know if you remember that time you mentored me, but man, that's the advice you gave me, and
Hmm.
it took me a long way, man. So I really appreciate you for that, man. And I definitely honor your time.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. So also, man, I had to get this man booked because this dude, listen, this dude got a speaking engagement every other day. Now he's already scheduled for next Saturday. You think I didn't see on your LinkedIn? He's
Yeah.
already scheduled for next Saturday. So I'm glad that I was able to squeeze our time over at Beyond the Armor. Donovan, what if you was to be able to take off like the titles and everything, all the stuff we're doing with tech and just life, like who are you as a person?
I am a big geek.
For sure.
I am. I love. Well, titles aside, I'm a big video game geek. I still play video games to this day. Classic video games, JRPGs are probably my favorite. Fighting games. I'm big into Super Smash Brothers, Ultimate
Okay.
out. So, and I actually won in a tournament, not first place, but I think runner up. I won the tournaments locally here, and so yeah, just a
Wow.
big gamer. Yeah, that's my biggest
That's
passion.
who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I'm gonna tell you a secret about me, man. I was a semi-pro in Halo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I actually competed at multiple tournaments out of state and stuff like that, man. And
Oh,
yeah, that's
nice.
something you didn't know,
No,
but
I
that's
didn't.
something that
No,
I yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed, but
Yeah,
yeah, no, Halo's popular. Like, yeah, I have friends that play Halo. I'm not big into Halo. I would play it, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm the greatest. Again, it's me. It's more fighting games, Smash Brothers, and that's kind of my speed essentially.
for sure, for sure. So
Mhm.
Donovan, with some of the community work, I know that you probably don't, for the local community, you probably do some things for free and things of that nature. But are you officially like a business consultant?
No, it's a bit of a story. So I'm more of a technical consultant. I work at a company called Live Six Alliance. And so what that entails, there's a program called DNET, which is short for Detroit Entrepreneurs Program. They partner with Live Six. So Live Six is a community organization located on the west side of Detroit. And so they partnered together to build this program called a Community Tech Consulting Program. And so after I had got laid off, I got into that program through a colleague, Johnny Turner from Black Tech Saturday. Shout out to Johnny.
Shout
And
out.
and that's how I got into this particular job. And so I'm more of a consultant for small businesses that are looking to grow, that need help with social media, websites, point of sales, and I get paid through the DNET program through a grant, essentially. Uh,
Wow.
so that's pretty much how that works, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Listen, man. The time we done spent together, and this is one thing about Beyond the Armor, y'all. Y'all don't have to sit up and be waiting all night. We hitting those points and hitting to the subjects that matter the most, and most of all, really looking for how can we keep our confidence in such a tough time, right? I think people they overlooking the market. They saying that, the market is bad and all these things, but it's like that everywhere. And now you have to come with more value. Are you an asset for the company? You know what I mean? Because people want to be around good people. You know what I'm saying? And Donovan, I will let you know I have got a position as a software engineer.
What? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Really? Where at?
Yeah. I'm gonna tell you. I can't tell you
I'm
right now
excited.
on
I'm excited,
camera
man. Oh
because
man.
I can't let them folks know, you know what I mean? But I'll share it on LinkedIn, but I'm gonna tell you after this.
Okay.
But that's why I say, man, like through all the trials and things I've been through, in 2025, man, with my mom passing
Mhm.
away, my brother, my uncle, and then my sister at the beginning of this year. It was a tough time, but I stayed the course. And, for me, man, it was my faith, you know what I mean? And that's one thing that I'm strong in. But Donovan, we got one more question for you, and
Mhm.
we'll let you go ahead and get up out of here because I know you're busy and you've been working all week long, man. Donovan, if you had one or two things that to tell like people who want to transition to tech
Mhm.
or people who want to transition in their life, what would those two things be for you?
Sure. One, you don't have to have a degree or a college degree or to be a genius to start. Just start now. Start building those reps. Start getting the habit of learning. Things are changing fast. Don't be afraid of AI. AI is a tool. It's an asset. It's not a replacement. It's here. There's a lot of demand for AI. I know there it's controversial, but it is here, and it's nothing you can either fight against it or and get left behind or fight with it and get some opportunities under your belt, right? Another thing too is networking. Get out there, network, make interpersonal connections with people, and if you aren't close to like a big city or a rural area where you can network to go to a meetup, then go online. There's plenty of Discord and Slack channels to build that network. I will say this, all the past 4 or 5 jobs I've held was through I got through network, including this one. So build that network and just come with just being yourself. You don't have to agree with everybody, be everybody's best friend. Just be yourself, be intelligent, be willing to help people because if you help someone for free, they're going to remember that. They're going to
For
highlight
sure.
that. Like, you know what? This guy, he helped me. He's looking for a job. So and so is hiring for X person. This guy knows this thing, so let me hook him up with this, because you never know what the you never know where it's going to lead. Like what you put out there is what you're going to give, or what you
For
give
sure.
is what you're going to get.
Yeah. Yeah. Y'all heard it, man. Y'all heard it. Detroit, y'all stand up, man. I brung a legend in the building, man. Y'all should be clicking the like, subscribe, and make sure y'all leave a comment for any future episodes. I gotta get them back, man. But Donovan, I just really want to, give you your praise, man. Like I said, giving you a shout out for your help from myself and then everything that you're doing for the community up in Detroit, man. I really appreciate you, man. But we out, y'all, man. And thank y'all for tuning in to Beyond the Armor, man. Donovan, do you got anything else?
Yeah, you can follow me online. I'm on LinkedIn. I recently started a YouTube channel for helping AI with small business called AI and Tech with Donovan. So search for that on YouTube. It's new. I'm only a month in. So but yeah, that's where you can find me online. And then also my email browseydonovan@gmail.com. You can reach me out there. So yeah, those are the
For
areas I'm
sure.
on.
And I'll have those in the description, y'all. So everything that he spelled out there, you'll be able to get in contact with Donovan and make sure you follow him on LinkedIn, man. I promise you, you're going to be following an amazing story and you'll see some of the amazing work he has done, man. Donovan, I thank you, man, and I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it.